Welcome to 1000 PS, welcome to Vallelunga, an amazing track just outside Rome, and welcome to the new Panigale V4 S. Now, to be honest, Ducati could have just sat back a little bit, because it's not like the current Panigale V4 S is a bad bike by any stretch of the imagination. And while some other manufacturers are kind of forgetting about 1000cc sports bikes, that's not in Ducati's style. These are the guys winning World Superbike Championships and MotoGP, so they have to have a pinnacle superbike, and that's what this is. So let's start off with what they've changed. So obviously cosmetically, there's a big transformation. It's kind of got more of a 916 look to it. It's more aerodynamic. It's a little bit roomier. The seat is bigger. The pegs are a little bit more in, which gives you more ground clearance and makes it more aerodynamic when you're tucked in. Engine, it's a phenomenal Desmos Adichie V4 counter-rotating crank engine. So it really didn't need any more power. Ducati have just fine-tuned it a little bit, more torque, a little bit higher up in the RPM. And this is all mainly for Euro 5 plus. I assume it is. But as mentioned, you don't need any more power than this. Service intervals, exactly the same. In terms of chassis, there's a big transformation. Obviously, we've now got the double-sided swinging arm. And there's lots of Ducati fans who are going to hate that. But this double-sided swinging arm simply makes sense, because we've got so much grip and so much power. It's like the MotoGP bike, we have to have a double-sided swinging arm. And even though it's a double, it's actually lighter than the single, and it gives more flex and more feel. The same with the front frame on the V4. They've changed the stiffness and the feel to the chassis. That's the idea. Suspension, completely new, Öhlins semi-active electronic suspension. This is the 3.0 system. It is the latest generation of Öhlins suspension, so everything can be done electronically. Up front, the Brembo stylemas are being thrown in the bin. We've now got the very latest high pure calipers from Brembo. This is the first time we've seen them on a production bike, I believe. Much lighter and better at getting rid of the heat, so you get better performance, more consistency out the brakes. In terms of rider aids, it is phenomenal how much technically advanced this bike. This is the most advanced bike that Ducati have ever produced, and it's probably the most advanced superbike on the market. So you've got the usual things like wheelie control, launch control, slide control, traction control, engine braking strategies, different power modes. But we've also got a few little gizmos in here now that Ducati have added that really kind of sets it apart from the others. So the first one I want to speak about is the DVO, which is Ducati Vehicle Observer. What that is doing is essentially downloading loads of information before it kind of goes to the bike. So it's kind of like having two brains or a second opinion of something. And what they do is also have virtual sensors. So they're not actual sensors, using calculations and algorithms that they've learned through years of MotoGP and years of World Superbike to work out what the bike is going to do, to perform a strategy, to think what you're going to do. So, for example, if you're braking really heavy and you've got loads of brake pressure, they know what the forks are going to do. If you're requesting loads and loads of power and you've got loads and loads of lean, it can limit the torque because it knows you're going to high side or slide. It also knows what you're going to do and then becomes accustomed to how you ride, and the parameters are always moving and it's reacting to what you're doing. So if you're pushing for a fast lap time, it reacts like this. If you roll off because you're a bit tired, it's back up here. Even if the fuel tank, if you start off with 17 litres and it starts depleting and you've only got 3 or 4 litres, the weight of the bike changes, your braking distance changes, everything changes. And through the DVO, the systems are always constantly moving and monitoring and helping you go faster. And that's the real big thing for me. Ducati probably could have put another 20 horsepower on this. They could probably make it more aggressive, but they didn't want to do that. They wanted to improve less lap times. We wanted to make it less effort to ride, and they wanted the bike to complement the rider, because we're not all World Superbike riders. And that's essentially what they've done. This is probably one of the easiest bikes I've ridden fast, and it kind of shouldn't be. It makes you feel almost like you're invincible. It allows you to do things that you probably shouldn't and probably can't, but because this chassis is so good, and because the grip is so good, and because the rider aids are so good, it just massively boosts your confidence. In terms of lap times, I've never gone as quick round Vallelunga before, and this is a track I know very well. I've ridden this track many, many times on 2021 Panigales, 2022 Panigales, and I've made a massive jump from those lap times that I've done previously. Okay, I might feel a little bit better, I might be a bit faster, I might have improved my fitness, and the tyres might be a little bit better, but it's not 0.2 or 0.3. I've gone considerably faster on the new model than I have on the previous model, and that is a massive compliment. And more so, when I roll off a little bit, when I ride 10% slower and just drag my elbow and have some fun and pull some wheelies, I'm still faster consistently than I was on the previous model. And that's mainly due to the chassis feel, the electronics, and all those rider aids. We've also got to talk about the braking and the CEBS, which is basically cornering ABS, but it's again on a different level, because it's applying some rear brake to help you. It's also keeping a little bit of rear brake after you've let off the front brake as you go into the turn, which is something that the MotoGP riders have done. When we looked at the data, I was using 3 bar of pressure, I think it was, on the rear brake. When I activated the system, it was helping me, and it put 11 bars of pressure on the rear brake. And before you all go, well, you're going to lock the rear brake because it's applying more rear brake. No, you're not, because it knows exactly how much traction and grip there is from the back. So it knows it can add 11 or 12 or 13 bars of rear brake without locking the rear. It's there to assist you and help you. There is no reason to turn any of these rider aids off unless you're Pecco or Marco. For everybody else, these rider aids are absolutely sublime. They're just working in the background, helping you out to improve your lap time and to flatter you and to make you feel and go faster as a better rider. It is such an impressive package. The downsides, prices increased quite significantly, so the V4 S is £30,000. But if it's the poster bike for the next generation, if it's a Ducati Panigale, I guess it has to be expensive. And all that tech has to have increased price somewhere. It is not only beautiful and so easy to ride fast, it's also desirable, but with what comes with that is expensive. Honestly, today we've done 6 or 7 sessions. We've had the chance to sit down with a technician. We've had the chance to go through data. We've had the chance to try different modes. We've had the chance to try full power without anti-wheelie. I've not played with the engine brake strategies. There's still more we can do with this bike because there's so many changes and modes and tech that we can play with. But it's just been such a joy to go out on bike. Oh, I think I need more power. Go faster. Out on the bike. I think I need less TC intervention, try something else. Go out on the bike, and every time it's going faster and faster. We've got a live dash that gives you your splits. So every time you go around, you can see if you're going faster in a split, you're chasing your lap time. It makes you feel a little bit like a professional racer, which at the end of the day, that's kind of what we want. In summary, this has got to get the competition very, very worried, because not only is it beautiful and desirable, it works as a superbike and it cuts fast laps around this track like I've never cut fast laps before. Here at 1000 PS, hopefully we'll get a group test together, which is obviously going to be the BMW M Sport, we'll get the new SP Fireblade, maybe the R1M, and maybe the ZX10 with its electronic suspension. But honestly, on this track, on this day, if I had a choice, it would be this one. Really, I can't see myself lapping any faster on any of the competition. And if I open the garage door in the morning, I do want to see this. It's going to be close, I think. It'll be interesting to see if the top ends of the inline fours is a little bit more than this. It'll be interesting to see which has got the most fatigue. It'll be interesting how much you have to tailor the rider aids to make yourself go fast. But as in part of an experience, what a phenomenal experience. Ducati didn't need to improve the Panigale. It's a phenomenal bike, but they have done. This is the next level.